Alright. I thought for a second I might not be able to play these guys again. Alright, alright. Let's try and have some more people go in there. Now I'm interested. I think Vampire and Iron hasn't been to... Nope, they have. Right. Egg... I'm only missing Egg Sack and Lightning. Whatever. I've pretty much tried everything so far, so I guess it's not that important anymore. Forgot to make that voice approach. second. Unfortunately, I picked it up. Parked it up. Sacrifice. Yeah, I haven't tried Ice Cell. Let's see if that's next. Combination. Don't believe it, but A bloodbath galore. I'm not gonna make it. Probably gonna be a few more hours. Okay, so I need to have 8 all in all to have gone into it, I guess. So I need to beat it 2 more times. Shouldn't take too long. Oh, wow, can be upgraded infinitely. Holy. Yes, Lord. Yes! It got done. Hell yeah. New balls all start level 2. Awesome. Not much of a save, but okay. Well, I could. It's not gonna be enough. Get the good old first combo for burn and bleed. fire. Together with charm. Okay. I do want the magma, so let's go with this one for now. Is it gonna do something? Nope. Berserk! Each hit has a 30% chance of causing enemies to go berserk for 6 seconds. Berserk enemies deal to adjacent enemies every second. Okay, so they harm others. Interesting. If I add Akma and that Berserk together, that could be an interesting combo. Because earthquake or ground effects, area effect could probably also cause the Berserk effect. Looks like a missile, so I'm guessing maybe I should have bomb added together with something else. Well, I might be wrong. And I'm pretty sure this one is Brood Mother of some kind. So I'm guessing it's Brood Mother together with Charm, but I can't be sure. Let's try and see. Wagon factory. charm maggot. Ugh. Disgusting. Do still have the vampire where it needs something. What a brood mother. Right, brood and charm doesn't work together. Wait, brood itself work together? Right, maggots. But I could also be wrong, it's not brood. What causes that one? Or I could go for a combination of lasers. No, I'm not gonna make that. an extra set. Just 2 more. You know what, never mind. Alright, so let's see, what happens after 8 people has fused with it? Do all 8 then get fused together to 1 unit or something? Or does the moon return to orbit or something? Whoa, trippin'. Beyblade! Oh, whoa. Alright, come on, what happens? What, am I just receiving a light show right now? So they ended up bringing back Babylon using the moon, I suppose? Chadwick. When I've heard that name before, I don't remember. Seems like there's a lot of sub or supportive companies that has been helping in on this one as well. Oh, that's a lot of playtesters. Ball pylon has risen. A base damage for the white trophy. Okay. You unlocked New Game Plus. You can continue upgrading your elevator to unlock more difficulty variants of each level. Alright. Interesting. A good variation of stuff. Alright, 4. That's not too bad compared to how long the list is and how many combinations there are, but still. Well, from here on out, it would just be for completionistic reasons if I were to continue. So, don't think really there's much else to show for the game. Pretty damn good one. I will say it's a lot of... it has been a lot of grinding, and also with the fact that there is so many characters to play at and so many combinations to make, it gives it a lot of replayability, and also doesn't make it boring when you have to play the same thing over and over and over again. Like if it had just been, you know, just different customized looks of characters, and then how would you say it's just different looks of characters and no variation in way they do their shooting, so to speak, it would be pretty damn boring. But with the fact of how they made this game, which there are different variations of how they fight or attack with their balls, so to speak, it adds a lot of, how would you say, oh, now I can see. Ah, okay. Oh, but no. Not much sure. Let me try something here. Oh, that's New Game Plus. Oh, I see. I thought I'd have to go on and make a new game for New Game Plus, but I guess not. Okay. I mean, graphically, it isn't like astonishing, but the art style is pretty charming. With it being a little grim, but it's still not like it looks like something out of maybe a horror child's book, I guess. A child's horror book, I guess. Where it's like things look creepy and horrific, but it's not like to a classical horror genre level. Oh, right. Also, there's quite a variation in the different characters. They also do look a little cartoonish in, you know, their head shapes. where they look like characters that could have been from a child's book or something like that, but then there are added those variations, like for example the dark around the eyes, everything's look a little bit grim, the equipments they have on, their clothes and such, and it just makes it a little bit more horror-ish, which it adds a little bit of a how would you put it? Not edgy, that's not what I'm thinking. Unease and comfort. I don't really know about the looks of the characters. So it has kind of like a child feel to it, but at the same time it's quite the opposite. And also there's the whole harvest thing where you can upgrade buildings. And not just that, you just place them and that's that. There's also a bonus depending on placements, harvests. You can also have these bonuses to your workers when you send them running around. Like for example, running through boulders, which usually the workers will bounce off on. Which is 12 out of 16 workers available. Probably because they are at the gold mines, these people here. Okay. I thought they were all. Okay. So if they work in the mines, they will not go around for the harvest. Alright. I thought, since they were still here on, I thought they would be running around with everyone else, but probably not. So that's a part to that as well. Now I forgot what I was going for. But they have these different things you can go up in. No, I would have personally liked that had been like a, what would you say, maybe like a category to like what the different upgrades are. I really need to think how to say this best. Change it up a little bit. Like for example, you can see what the previous upgrades are. So for example, I could have focused on with the warrior to have been a specifically stone miner related stuff. Someone else a lumber picker, for example, so it would be easy to make room for the others, where I can have him like be an expert in tearing down lumber, where he can pierce right through the forest, but also each time he goes through it, he takes 2 pieces of lumber off to make it faster. And then also add every time he works on deforestation, that there's also added the extra timer to it as well. If I had like a thing where I could see what I had chosen previously on the character themselves, I would have liked that, so I could pretty much make an expertise on the character based on that. Or as I said, that maybe there would be like a category, so like one is specifically for stone, one is specifically for giving a buff to timer, one is specifically for speed, either individually, or maybe they have like a thing that works for all harvesters. For example, sprinter increased movement speed while harvesting by 20%. That could be like a group thing instead of it being an individual thing. So it feels a little less chaotic in the whole thing of picking the different bonuses. But at some point, it's not really gonna matter. So I can kind of see why it wouldn't be something they would focus on for that part. But it would be nice if there maybe also had been like a respec option, so you could, you know, reset everything and then just set it how you feel it should be, or maybe like you do a reroll on some of the stuff. And I do love the whole fact that there are these there are standard balls, but then there's also the, you know, special balls that have each their own thing, and each character has their own version they work with, I guess. Where we, for example, have the warrior that has bleed. We have the trigger happy character who has burn. So you have more of an easy time finding different combinations by choosing specifically what character you want. And also the different buildings that are bonuses to, like for example the XP gain, passive slots, starter balls, level 3, that like it feels like there's a constant upgrade. And I feel like it can maybe be feel a little less progressive in the game when you, even if you do New Game Plus, due to the fact that now you don't really have all of these buildings you can upgrade anymore, so it doesn't feel like there's any more benefits coming and rolling. And so personally, I think maybe I would prefer to start completely all over again. But it is nice with the whole thing that you can try and go for added difficulty, try and push the boundaries all the time of the difficulty and see how far you can go, learn the different tactics, some min-maxing, I guess. And also there's the infinity, so you can constantly put in upgrades to the other buildings. You don't have them on right now, but you know what I mean. Let me see what was it. Right, I forgot to add that again. And also that there are all of these things you can add, like the forest. You can rearrange everything as you see fit. It fits as much as possible and effectivize, like trying to optimize everything as much as you can think and do. Where every time you get some new buildings, you might want to expand a little bit. You want to figure out how to make every building add together and stuff. There is just, I have spent a lot of time on that and I enjoyed it, but there is an unfortunate thing where if you continuously move things around on the field, or if you're in the village for too long, unfortunately there's an issue where the game will freeze more and more frequently, where you will need to completely jump out of the game. Like, not even main menu, I mean out of the game completely, to remove this freeze effects, which, as I said, happens more and more frequently. And it's like, it freezes for 3 to 5 seconds or something like that, which is pretty annoying when you just want to make everything work, and you spend maybe like 10 minutes and you have to continuously jump in and out of the game to make things work the way you want it to do. In general, I don't really have anything bad to say about the game. It's very entertaining, and it's very good with the, personally I think, with all of the combinations, the different thing you can constantly mix and match, all of the potentials there are of doing, the art style of the different areas, the variation in bosses, units that attack, mid bosses, and it just feels like you get really more and more powerful the more further down in the levels you go. Of course, also depending on how many that go through the individual levels, because you get a bonus from that all the time. So you also get incentivized incentivized to go through all of the stages with the different characters, and then also by finding out which mix and match fits together, you get a whole lot more out of it as well. So yeah, I 100% enjoy going through this game. No question about it. So yeah, I think the game is... There's a lot of time to put into this game, depending on how much you want to get through to it and how much you want to, how much of a completionist you are. If you want something action and stuff like that, this game may not be good for you. But I do know there are, if you do love numbers and you like to, like something that is kind of roguelite and RNG generated, like for example some Vampire Survivors of what would you call it, Brick Breaker, that this is absolutely a game that's I would highly recommend. If I had to give a score on this game, it would be a an 8.5 potentially. There are some things I would have liked a little bit slightly different. As I said about the whole stats thing, the issues with where the game starts to freeze if you move things around too much, or if it's just when you're in the city. I would also have liked... I mean, I almost spent 40 hours in this game, and this game is cheap, so it was worth the money, I would say. I would also have liked there had been like some sort of category to all of the different abilities. So, like, you know, there are all of the base ones, but then there had been like an order to the different things. Like, for example, first we have ice, so you can kind of get an idea of what combinations fit together. So like one in a row they go with ice, and then afterwards they go with fire, poison, vampire. So you have an easier time to figure out what the different ones are to fit together, and then you can also throw off a little bit by having some of those that don't really work well with so many. Like for example the beam. And then when you add together like all of these different, like, for example, we talk about ice, for example, and fire and all of these. The more you have on top, the harder it's going to be to figure out what's in the bottom. For example, vampire. You have like, for example, ice with vampire. You have broodmother together with vampire. Or vampire together with broodmother. You have vampire together with... Wait. Oh, that's bleed. Vampire together with Exac. So the further you go, it's going to be harder to figure out what fits together. But then it would also make it a little bit more of a... I can never remember that word. It's so annoying. Determination by annihilation. I don't remember. Like kind of excluding the possibilities by narrowing down the variation from what you see on top. But it does kind of work out with if all special balls have like 5 combinations they can do individually, then you can also kind of like see, oh, I only have 4 of this one, so potentially it works with one of these other things that only has 4 variations. I only have 4 combinations of 2. So let's see, for example, Brute Mother. I only have 4 variations of. I do not know if it what the 5th one would be. If I had to guess here, I can see I have fire, laser, and lightning I'm missing. So I have to look at some of the others, but I'm missing. For example, lightning, I only have... I only have 4 things unlocked so far that work together with lightning. And 2 of them are, like, let's see, what is it? Like Blizzard, like it, and Blizzard has like already 6 availabilities due to the fact that both ice, lightning, and wind work together with it. So it's a little bit. I actually don't remember lights. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 variations of lights. But yeah, like make an order in it so it would be a little bit easier to try and figure out what the different variations are. Like maybe they could also have added charm at the bottom so it's easier now that you have gone through so many. So you can be like, oh, okay, so charm works with these things here. Or it could be added up by, for example, when you unlock the different things. So like everything that works together with charm would be down at the bottom, and then if there's these special ones, like for example black hole, which needs you to have a fusion to afterwards fuse with a base. Those could be in the bottom. That would also incentivize a little bit of, oh, now I have to figure out like what of these special ones that requires what combination, instead of being like a headless chicken, so to speak. Because already when you have a certain amount of combinations that work together, it kind of becomes a little bit mismanaging and lowers the chance of you figuring out what combinations work together unless you actually keep track of it. So if you via the a systematic order in the encyclopedia could figure out what works together and what doesn't work together, that would be very nice if they had done that. But in general, the game is amazing. It has lots of great gameplay in its versatility. You can experiment, mix and match as you see fit. I really enjoyed this game. So for a indie game, small indie game that has like not a huge amount of content, but it knows how to change it up a little bit every time, and also reward you with all of these different buildings that changes things for you to make you more powerful and stuff. It works really pretty damn well, I would say, personally. I would highly recommend this to people who aren't looking for like first-person shooters, like something that is a little bit different from usual, but is pretty fun to play. I would definitely recommend this to a lot of people. But yeah, that's gonna be all for this game this time. So I'm gonna be calling it here and then switch over to Dying Like the Beast and try and finish up on it. I have like 2 hours somewhat. So yeah, that was all for BallxPit this time. So thank you for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube and you like the VOD, please feel free to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell notifications for when I upload videos. If you're watching this on Twitch and you like the VOD, please feel free to leave a follow so you can get notifications for our live stream. I'll usually live stream on Wednesdays around 4 or 5 p.m. CT. That's to make around 9 or 10 a.m. CST. Weekends can be a little bit on and off. Now, I will usually try and live stream around 1 or 2 p.m. CT. That should make around 6 or 7 a.m. CST. So, thanks for watching. Take care. Until next video, I'll live stream. Bye.